Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back to Iraq. This man here is Halabasi. He is wanting to set a date for early elections. Yep. Now, keep in mind, he is the lead speaker in the House of Representatives. So I'm wondering what kind of sway he has over the Parliament. Can he just set a date? I don't think he can. He's got to be able to convince Parliament to come in and vote and agree on something. And if I remember correctly, we just did an article where it said like 98% of the MPs are against early elections. Of course, you're talking about their jobs. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, go to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So what is up, pussycat? Whoa, 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 for reals. A critical meeting this evening for the framework to determine the compass towards Al-Kazemi's dialogue. Look, Al-Kazemi's doing all he can, trying to stay neutral, trying to find a way to come up with this solution so that civil war doesn't break out over there in Iraq. You know what? He's the man to do the job, to be quite honest with you. He does have the ears of all different factions within Iraq and outside of Iraq. So if anybody could do it, it definitely would be Al-Kazemi. Now, I don't know if he's going to have any success. You have two groups of people, the Sadr's movement and Maliki's people. Neither one of them wanting to budge, even though Sadr has already resigned along with his MPs out of the government. But so much for that, he's still just as powerful, if not even more powerful now. So it said a source close to the coordinated framework revealed on Sunday the anticipation of holding a meeting of the framework this evening to discuss how to participate in a national dialogue under the auspices of Prime Minister Al-Kazemi. I'm sure there are some people, Maliki, within the coordinating framework who are not happy that they're having to work through Al-Kazemi. So the source said in an interview, the leaders of the framework will hold a meeting this evening in Baghdad to discuss the framework's position on Al-Kazemi's meeting in its second round to be held tomorrow, Monday, to discuss the political crisis in the country and ways to solve it and calm the internal situation. The general framework's position is to participate in any movement that leads to calming the situation in the country, stressing that the meeting may be attended by representatives of the leaders of the first row, but opinions of some leaders push for the postponement of any dialogue until after the 40th visit. The 40 visit? 40? Okay. Al-Kazemi welcomes the American support for Iraq and the importance of continuing cooperation on several files. People keep asking me, Pimpy, what does that mean when they say files? You know, like issues is what they mean, like on several issues. So the Prime Minister Al-Kazemi received on Sunday the Assistant Secretary of the State for Middle East Affairs, Barbara Leaf, and her accompanying delegation. So, of course, during the meeting, they discussed bilateral relations between the two countries, developments in Iraq, the government's role in facing challenges, and its efforts to contain the current political crisis by launching several initiatives for a comprehensive national dialogue between all national political forces. You see, this would be the equivalent of putting Trump in the same room with Nancy Pelosi, trying to force them to come to some type of agreement. It's just not going to happen. Said the meeting touched on a number of regional issues and files of common interest and witnessed the emphasis on Iraq's prominent role in easing regional tensions through the efforts of Al-Kazemi's government in pursuing a policy of calm and dialogue among the countries of the region. Leaf confirmed U.S. President Joseph Biden called on all Iraqi leaders to promote national dialogue between political forces to overcome the crisis and to proceed with consolidating the security and stability of Iraq. I reiterate that the U.S. administration will continue to support Iraq and strengthen the partnership between Baghdad and Washington. I think it's funny coming from Biden. So there's still an issue about the money that was being transferred. People want to know the truth about it. Look, if there was $1 trillion being transferred and it seemed like it was done in a scrupulous kind of way, then I think the people have the right to know the truth. But when I read into this article, if it's true, and I'm saying if it's true, it appears like somebody is either preparing to leave, escape, or it looks like one political party is preparing financially to possibly go to war with the other. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but when you see one group of people stashing $1 billion or $1 trillion dinars, which is equivalent to about $697 million. Here we go. The Speaker of the Iraq Parliament calls for an agreement on setting a date for early elections. I don't know how else they're going to get out of this. My solution was that the Soros movement and the coordinating framework get the hell out of the way and let the people vote on the president and the prime minister. And then shortly after that, Sauter agreed with me. So, I mean, what other solution is there? If these people are truly there for the people, like they claim to be, then they should have no problem doing that. I see that Sauter was willing to do it, but I've not heard anything from the coordinating framework. Again, people are rising up against them. They don't want that regime back in power. If you scroll through the news, you can see right here, thousands in Iraq demand regime change after Shia factions clash. So the people there are tired of it as well. So the Parliament Speaker, Halabasi, called today on the need to agree on setting a date for holding early parliamentary elections, electing a new president for the country, and forming a government in the up-and-coming dialogue sessions that will hopefully be held by the Iraqi parties. Look, they're already on the verge of civil war. They started to go down that path, and thanks to Sistani, it was stopped. Either they agree to go to early elections, or there's no doubt in my mind there is going to be a civil war. There's no other way around it. I don't want that to happen because I don't want people to get killed. I think it's the right of the Iraqi people to decide who they want there. And any political figure that's out there standing in their way, those people should be removed out of office. I say that because the Iraqi people are tired of this themselves. Sauter's agreeing to step aside, and so should Maliki in a coordinated framework, and let the people choose the Prime Minister and the President. And the Prime Minister and the President will go about choosing their administration. You see right here, Halabasi said, discussing the election of the President of the Republic and the selection of the government with full authority agreed upon and trusted and reassured by the people and their political forces. He called for the reinterpretation of Article 76 of the Constitution, which pertains to the largest parliamentary bloc, and the abolishment of the shameful circumvention of manipulating the provisions of this article, which occurred under political pressure after the 2010 elections. He also called for discussing the adoption of the Federal General Budget Law, the maintenance and amendment of the Parliament's election law, and the legislation of the Federal Supreme Court law, according to Article 92 of the Constitution. So it looks to me like they have come up with a solution that they want to pass right before the election so that they can avoid this very same problem all over again. Can Halabasi convince them to do a vote on early elections? I don't think so. Can Kazemi actually bring calmer heads to the table and get an actual agreement between a coordinating framework and the Sauterist movement? Man, that's a far reach, but if anybody could do it, it would definitely be Kazemi, in my opinion. But I just don't see that happening. Maliki and his people have too much to lose. Maliki is head. Sauter's already made it clear as day that he wants accountability for what happened in 2019, and he wants the corruption files open to the public. I don't think that's going to change at all. I'm still waiting for the Supreme Court to make a decision on the recordings of Maliki making threats about Sauter. That's a treason. That's supposed to be punishable by death. But there hasn't even been as much as an arrest warrant issued. Must be nice to have people in high places if I'm Maliki. Anyways, that's it. You guys let me know what you think. I'll look forward to your comments, and I'll catch you later. I'm out.